Hi, I'm Glenn Everitt, master of machines. Coming up...
That's what I'm talking about. You just step on the throttle and light up the tyres.
I'm at Winton Motor Raceway Australia with Smith Speedworks and Vintage Racing Services to test drive two awesome historic racing Mustangs from their stable. This is going to be amazing.
The Vintage Racing Services team have told me to suit up. That means it's time to drive. And who am I to argue? I'm about to test one of the early Mustangs in their stable. This beautiful little 65 coupe here owned by Al Shearer. It's powered by a 500 plus horsepower 289, backed by a top loader and 9-inch rear end. In fact, it's based on the 289 K-Code 271 horsepower platform back in the day. So it makes a real rocket ship with a little bit of modern technology pumped into the engine and some of the modifications that are allowed to be done in this Group N historic class. Back in the day, Norm Beachy was one of the first people to bring a Mustang out in Australia and race it against the likes of Jaguars, E.H. Holdens and early model Valiants. Boy, did he give those guys a surprise. Absolutely blitzed them, and no wonder. These engines are an absolute little powerhouse. And with some of the freedoms we've got today, you can do a lot more with them, but you've still got to use the old school brakes and suspension package, but enhance them to make them work. So it's keeping that old school look and feel, the old school technology, with what's been learned over the last 30 or 40 years to make these things absolutely fly. Well, here we go. I'm about to drive one of the angriest little early historic racing Mustangs in the country. Let's hear this little 289 scream. Sit tight and enjoy the ride. Yeah, baby. It's a wild little machine, this thing. Very twitchy part of the track here, the old sweeper. Got to be careful. Transfers a lot of weight about here. Get very sideways. Back down to second gear. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Love this track too. First time I drove here, I was 14 years old. Unbelievable. She's tailing. see why they just annihilated everything. Nothing would get near this thing, nothing in the day. Yes, of course, there's a little bit more modern technology in this car when it comes to engine build. Craig Smith from Vintage Racing Services has done an amazing job on achieving over 500 horsepower out of this little 289.
Coming up next, we drive the Big Bad 69. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell, as we have a lot more awesome content coming your way.
Now things are hotting up. We get to drive the flagship of the Vintage Racing Services fleet. This beautiful 69 Fastback Mustang here that belongs to Darrell Hanson. It's actually one of the quickest group and historic races in the country. Its 351 Windsor makes 618 insane horsepower. It revs to 8,000 RPM. Backed by a top loader and a 9-inch, this thing is bulletproof. Now there's a lot of history with these 69 Fastbacks, with people like Alan Moffat behind the wheel in the Australian Touring Car Championship, and a lot of success overseas in the Trans-Am Championship. In fact, Alan Moffat's Mustang was one of the most winningest Mustangs in all-time history worldwide, an epic piece of machinery. Now I get to sample something just like it, and this baby here. Let's get in it and give it heaps. The 69 Fastback Mustang. Amazing piece of machinery, and no wonder. These things look like they're going fast, even when they're standing still. Muscle it around. the punch this thing's got, the torque. You just step on the throttle and she just wants to light up the tyres. Precision. Got to be so precise with this car. So precise. She's a razor sharp weapon. The power and the torque this thing's got, its ability to light the tyres up on demand at speed is incredible. Just like that. You've got to feed the power in to get this thing to hook up. Damn it! I'm really upset. You know why? Because I have to take it back now. Wow. Well, what a fantastic day it's been here for me at Winton Motor Raceway. I've got to drive two epic historic touring cars prepared by Vintage Racing Services. But most importantly, how do I rate and compare these two amazing cars? The Black 65 packs a mean punch with its screaming little Windsor up front, which I should add makes some super impressive power across a very broad RPM range. These early Mustangs are light too, providing a great power to weight ratio and also benefit from less engine mass over the front axle. A great asset for handling and vehicle dynamics, meaning that over a longer race distance it should be easier on brakes and tyres. Which I should also add are radial in construction and feel super direct and predictable. Then there's the mighty 69 Fastback, and this car is just absolutely brutal. Its crush, kill and destroy Smith Speedworks 351 Windsor makes so much power everywhere, turning it into a tyre shredding animal that would burn the rear tyres up in no time if your right foot allowed it to. And I have to say, that's just the way I like it, insane power on demand. With its wider track and longer wheelbase, it's stable at speed and handles exceptionally well considering it's a heavier car than the earlier model. And while its conventional style old school race rubber hooks up amazingly well, they do dance around a little bit, requiring a delicate touch and input until you dial into them compared to the radials. I honestly couldn't choose between these two cars, as they're just so different in every way, yet both so incredible to drive. The 69 is such a brutal monster, yet the 65 is so nimble, compact and very fast, with an engine that generates such sweet music to the ear at over 8,000 RPM. Honestly, if I could, I'd have both of them parked side by side in my garage, in a heartbeat.